Hello and welcome to this week's debate of Goa Ahead. And the matter that we are debating this week is a very interesting one, and that is about postal ballots. And rest of the country, all of you might be wondering, what are these postal ballots and why they are such a big issue in Goa? We are a small state with limited electorate and closely contested elections. And with so many parties in the fray, the winning margin can be in hundreds, sometimes probably in tens. So the postal ballots, which are cast by the government servants who are on polling duty, have become a very, very crucial issue for all political parties. With one political party alleging that another political party is pressurizing the government servants to vote for them. The postal ballots, the ballot, actual polling happens after the election. And because this is a multi-phased election, the election commission has given time to all the government servants to cast their vote uh, till probably the last phase of elections. The point is whether postal ballots can really change the fate of a candidate or a political party in a small state like Goa. And how much credence is there in these allegations? And I'm joined by three eminent guests. First, I am joined by leader of Bharatiya Janata Party, NDA spokesperson Siddharth Kukulekar. Siddharth, welcome. Next, I am joined by leader and spokesperson of the Congress Party, Sunil Kautankar. Sunil, welcome. And last but not the least, I am joined by senior journalist and editor of the Goan Everyday newspaper, Joel Afonso. Joel, I'll start with you. How are you looking at this controversy? Because every political party is alleging the other political party saying that their candidates are pressurizing government servants to cast their ballot, including calling them to their house or their party office and asking them to vote in front of them, which completely violates the principle of secret ballot. How are you looking at this issue, and how serious is this when it comes to the results?
Yeah, postal ballot is not the first time in Goa. Pramod, it's been there for all elections. Postal ballot. Now this time, there is a hue and cry over parties saying that voters have been influenced and all of that. That really reflects there is a kind of a tension within the party over votes. Because it's a multi-cornered contest this time, and parties are fighting for every single possible vote. So this itself shows that it's going to be a very close call. Number one. Secondly, it's very much clear that these votes could make a difference, because earlier these there were very narrow margins, and this time, since the election is keenly fought, it is going to be even tighter, and even these votes will definitely count. But just to assume that these votes will go to a single party would be a little too far fetched, I feel. Given the situation that uh, you know money, whenever you're talking about money, when there is some influence or something, there is not a given criteria to come to a conclusion that this money will get you the vote. If that was the case, we have seen that even otherwise, when there is a huge flow of money, need not translate that into votes. All that money which is flown in has never, not always, have translated into votes. So to conclude that, okay, fine, this influence on the postal ballot voter would translate into a vote to a particular party would be a little too far fetched, I think. But given this scenario, there are all allegations coming in, and now the CEO has formed two teams. One in north and one in south. Postal officers have been posted and a complaint cell has been formed. So anybody who wishes to come on record and maybe register their complaints. Now, how how much of credence do these complaints get, and will have to wait and watch. Otherwise, this will be just like a shooting in the air. Nobody knows which way the complaints are flowing, or which party is really influencing the voter. uh, yes, these votes are very, very crucial, because there are around 15,000 odd postal ballots issued to officials, 15,474 to be precise, according to election officials' data. So maybe it may not be a single constituency, but if you're talking about, so for example, Kankona, 800 postal ballot, it's quite a huge figure. It's it could change the equation. So it depends on how many postal ballots are allocated to a particular constituency, and that will determine and that will definitely change equations if in case there is some kind of a pressure or some kind of influence on the vote.
I want to tell because people watching us across this country, when you listen to these numbers of 15,000 or 800, you will find that these are very, very small figures. But for a small state like Goa, in a closely contested election, 800 votes, postal ballot votes in a constituency can make real difference. And I think every political party has understood that. So although the formal polling has ended in Goa, the postal ballot still continues. So the campaigning, the reaching out to voters is still ongoing. Sunil, your party has been very vociferous about what's happening. First, tell us what are your grievances, what do you think is happening, and why it is wrong and why you are so much concerned.
See, I'm pretty sure that all of us here will agree on one thing is that the electoral process is the basis of our democracy and the very important essence of the democracy. And the free and fair elections are the foundation of this electoral process and our democracy. So it is very important that the process should be free and fair without any interference, without any coercion, without any intimidation of the voters. And when we speak about the postal ballot votes, which are given to the government employees who are on duty due to the election work, it is very important that these elections, the voting is done in a free and fair manner. But what we have come to see in last few days is that several of the government officers are pressurizing some of their subordinates for casting the votes in their presence to a specific party that we have seen is the Bharatiya Janata Party at the behest of some of the BJP ministers and the leaders, as they are in the ruling, they are in the government right now. Also, we have come across some police officials. We have also filed complaints against police officials calling their subordinates and pressurizing them to vote for BJP or some particular party. So this thing should stop. This thing cannot be tolerated because across political lines, I believe all of us should believe in one thing, and that is democracy. And free and fair election should be the basis of protecting our democracy.
Uh, Sunil, are you suspecting? Because Joel said in a very nice manner that no political party can assume that all these votes are going lock, stock, barrel towards one political entity. When Congress is making so much hue and cry, are you saying that the BJP is behind this micromanagement of votes? And if so, the BJP may also say that your candidates are also involved in such kind of activities.
I believe Mr. Afonso has missed the point that I have made earlier and what I am making now also. That is, the free and fair election should be the basis of this electoral process, which is the foundation of our democracy. And every individual, he may have any political ideology, should see to it that this entire process is free and fair
Hmm.
because it matters to our democracy. It doesn't matter whom the electoral postal ballot, the vote to whom it is going, but it should be free and fair without any coercion and without any intimidation. And that is what is the lookout of the Congress party is that a person who wishes to cast his vote, it should be a secret voting. It shouldn't be under duress or some pressure, undue influence by any by any superior staff. And one more thing, what I believe right now is that BJP has realized pretty well that the government employees, especially the police department, are not going to stand by the BJP due to all their misadventures and the harassment that they have caused to the government employees of the state. There
Hmm.
are n number of examples. So they are panicked right now, and as the numbers are pretty huge, the numbers of postal ballot goes into thousands. I think it's a desperate attempt by the BJP to try to
Siddharth,
pressurize these
respond to
voters
that.
to
I
vote
think
for the party.
BJP is sensing defeat, and that's why this desperate attempts to micromanage every single vote.
First of all, let me congratulate the fourth pillar of democracy, media, and the election commission headed by Kunal, to have conducted a very free and a fair poll in this general elections. Everybody has played their roles and have ensured that the election takes place in a very congenial manner. See, this ballot voting or postal ballots are given to service voters who are there on duty on poll duty on that particular day of the elections. And as Joel said, this has been happening since the elections began. It is not a new process. It is not a process which has started in this elections. In fact, Joel has made another statement that, the parties making allegations are nothing but vying for attention. See, these parties have developed one very peculiar characteristics: question the institutions. If the decision is pro them, for them, they just keep quiet. If something goes against them, they start questioning the institutions. See, you have to have belief in these institutions. You have to have belief in the systems. The same systems existed when you were there in the power. We at BJP value each and every vote, be it the actual voting person on that particular voting day, that is on 14th February, or the each and every government servant's vote. We value them. And definitely nobody is pressurizing anybody. They are simply trying to buy attention. It is a crying babies who are trying to find attention. They know that the victory belongs to BJP. The people are with BJP. The government postal ballots are with BJP. And that is why they are preparing their grounds for a defeat. Just some other day, there were allegations that EVMs can be tampered. One of the media houses even conducted a debate on it. So I think this is a preparation of ground for their defeat. Nothing else but defeat.
Siddharth, you are saying BJP is not micromanaging postal ballots.
We are not micromanaging. We cannot do micromanagement of the postal ballots. But at the same time, we value all ballots, each and every vote. We value them. And our booth machinery knows who are there. And definitely, we are approaching everybody to cast votes, and that we have gone to their houses. We have gone to each and every house, in fact, in Goa, appealing people to vote for BJP. And BJP has got a tremendous response from people of Goa. That is a fact. That is why the voting has been pro-BJP. The BJP is forming the next government, that is for sure, and with a clear mandate. And since the opposition doesn't have any valid points, they are preparing a ground so that on the 10th of March, they can start blaming EVMs, they can start blaming postal voters, they can start blaming other voters, and they will blame everything on this earth to justify their defeat.
Sunil, respond to that. Now, Siddharth is saying it is not that the BJP is sensing a defeat, but you guys are sensing a defeat, and that's why you are trying to create an issue out of this. The system continues from, I think, from the times the elections are being conducted. When you were in power also, the system was there. And today, suddenly, you are getting up and saying that this is not fair. How do you justify that?
First of all, I am surprised at the audacity with which Siddharth said that they respect the Goan voters. Because if they had to respect Goan voters, they would have not purchased the MLAs. They were rejected last time in 2017. We were single largest party. They have formed a government and come to the administration through a backseat. And today, when Siddharth is saying that we have sensed the defeat, I believe all of us are pretty aware of the results last time. The results were pretty close. So some numbers do matter. So few votes also do matter. And if this system existed, yes, this system of postal ballot did exist earlier also, but there were no allegations on Congress because we never interfered as far as the electoral process is concerned. And BJP is known to politicize the institution. The institution what Siddharth is talking about that we are raising questions on. Today, a common man is having a sense, a common man is having a feeling that there is a complete distrust in the institution. They are no more the institutions what the institution used to be earlier. They are completely polluted by the BJP and the ruling government.
Joel, do you believe that there needs to be a system that needs to be put in place as far as the timing for the postal ballots is concerned? We completed our normal polling, EVM polling on 14th, and then there are almost 23 to 24 days for the postal ballots to be cast. Do you think the postal ballots can also be determined within next maybe 2 days the officers have to cast their votes? So at last, as far as these allegations are concerned of political parties soliciting individual voters or pressurizing them or enticing them, at least we hear these kind of things if there is a very limited window to cast postal ballots.
There would be actually two questions, which the election CEO would have to answer, two questions in a sense. One is this sort of a window which starts almost it gives around 24 days for the voter, for this postal ballot voter to vote, and leading to all kinds of speculation that the voter has been pressurized, voter has been threatened or coerced into voting to a particular party. I mean, if this window could have been narrowed, I mean, if the law permits, maybe a shorter window would have done justice to this, and maybe we would have been done away with this exercise in a shorter time. Secondly, another question which again the CEO will have to answer is uh, how did this list of postal ballot voters come in public domain? I mean, that's a serious question, and I don't see how political parties start calling up these officials, and how do they know whether this person is registered for a postal ballot? Uh, Calling has I've got reports about political leaders calling voters, but how did it happen? And all these questions lead to a speculation. Yes, this window, this long window, leaves scope for influencing the voter. Definitely, yes. Probably the election commission will have to look at shortening a window, or maybe
Keep a limited period of time to cast postal ballots.
or maybe create some kind of a mechanism where this is a foolproof system, and the voter is not under any sort of influence from anybody.
Siddharth, do you agree with that? You respond to Sunil, but also do you agree with that there needs to be a limited window during which these votes should be cast?
In fact, regarding the postal ballot voters list with the political parties, Joel Bab, I would like to state the BJP is connected with the voters. We have a presence on every booth, 1,762 booths in Goa. We are present with our karyakartas on virtually every booth. We have teams in place in every booth. We have house-to-house contact with the voters. We know, the people come and discuss their grievances, share their happinesses with us, and that is how we are going ahead with garnering the large chunk of votes. We are with the people and people are with us. That is how we treat people equally, and we value every vote. And that is what Sunil also made a statement of purchasing of MLAs. Sunil Bab, the High Court has given its judgment. Respect the High Court at least. So I think I need not say anything more on this.
Yeah. I'll go to Sunil. I'll ask you both. Now that Siddharth has touched that issue, first, should there be a limited window for postal ballots? And number two, now that the High Court has ruled on the disqualification matter and said that the two-thirds split and merger is valid as per the present provisions of law, how is Congress looking at the entire matter?
I believe that as far as the limited window for the postal ballots is considered, yes, definitely the window has to be narrower than what it is right now. But more than that, I feel that the election commission should work out on a mechanism wherein this voting is foolproof. They could assign a single day or a holiday wherein the government employees who are getting postal ballots could vote physically in each constituency, because as it is the postal ballots are going to the ROs of the particular constituency, the one day could be held for a voting for all this postal ballot. That will be a better foolproof mechanism. The coming to the second part, as far as the ruling by the High Court is concerned, we have already made it clear that we are in disagreement with the order and we are challenging the order before the Honorable Supreme Court.
Joel, on that very crucial point of the High Court order yesterday, how do you think that High Court order will have implications on the post 10th March scenario? And High Court clearly saying that these are the present provisions of law. If somebody splits two-thirds, you cannot just disqualify them. How are you looking at that judgment and the implications of it on post 10th March?
Yeah, this judgment has come at a time when we are just looking at the result, and then it opens up a whole lot of possibilities for political parties, especially parties who parties or groups which were considered as irrelevant. Now they have a kind of a new kind of a way out. When you say or two-third can split off, and there are no conditions applied there. I mean, you just split off two-third and merge into a party. There you go. I mean, it's all very clear there in the High Court. So a lot of people will seek relevance. I mean, of people who are disgruntled, people who want to have a bite at power, and maybe and maybe we could look forward to the repeat of 2017. Who knows? I mean, given a fractured mandate, I mean, we are looking now at a fractured mandate, and all these things will come back to haunt us once again. I think so.
Siddharth, while concluding the show, Joel mentions that we are all expecting a fractured mandate. What is BJP's sense now that the election is over? What is your very honest, actual sense of the polling? Are you seeing 22 in 22, or are you seeing BJP as a single largest party?
No, I am seeing 22 plus in 22.
Okay.
It is not just 22 in 22. I am seeing 22 plus in 22. I am making a very categorical statement. And we I mean, the 10th of March is very near. We have to just wait for maybe 1 or 2 weeks more. And I am very sure that the people of Goa, entire Goans, have across the religions, across castes, across regions, have supported BJP overwhelmingly.
And just before I go to Sunil for the concluding remarks, how do you think, Siddharth, this order of yesterday will impact post 10th March scenario?
No, we have addressed the media yesterday evening, and we have welcomed the judgment. See, we have to respect the High Courts as an institution, and whatever they have said, they must have gone through all the merits, demerits of the case, and they have upheld the Speaker's judgment.
Sunil, final comments. Number one, what is your sense of the numbers now? Joel is saying it increasingly looks like a fractured mandate, and we are in a very tricky period between 14th Feb to 10th March. What is the sense of the Congress party? Are you winning a majority, or you are looking at the party as a single largest party? Number one. And number two, do you think the High Court order will have some very, very significant fallout on a post-10th scenario?
I do believe that, and after all our assessment, we are pretty sure that we will be forming the government very comfortably in the state on 10th of March. It's not too far from now, and Congress government will be in place post 10th of March. That I'm very pretty sure about that. As far as the High Court order on the defections is concerned, I'm again saying it is pretty unfortunate, because knowing the BJP and their central leadership, they will try to do all these circuses and gimmicks that they have been doing. And it is just not about the law point, and let us not go by the law point itself, but also about the morality and ethics in the politics. What BJP used to preach earlier by saying that they are party with a difference, today they have become the party with garbage, not just difference. So that is what every Goan and every citizen of this country has to look very closely to. And BJP is definitely answerable to the people.
Okay. I'm completely out of time, Sunil. I'm completely out of time. But Siddharth, Joel, Sunil, thanks a lot for joining me on the show. I know 10th March is not very much far away, and Congress and BJP both are saying that we will form the government in a very comfortable manner. But we need to see what happens on 10th March and what happens thereafter, because as you know, in Goan politics, usually in politics, a week is a long time. As far as Goan politics is concerned, sometimes 24 hours are longer than a week. So, Joel, Siddharth, Sunil, thanks a lot for joining me on the show. Keep watching. Go ahead.